I'm on the staff team at Wakefield Baptist Church, and my particular responsibility is as pastor to the asylum seekers and the refugees that worship with us. As a pastor this year, I've walked with a number of people who have found life overwhelming and felt themselves in danger of drowning under their circumstances. Just as in our wider community, there have been people struggling with illness, bereavement and losing their jobs, as well as a number of our asylum seekers waiting month after month to hear from the Home Office, who are supposed to be processing their applications for leave to remain in the UK. I was reading Psalm 77 the other day. It speaks of a sense of being rejected by God. Even when God was leading his people out of their troubles, their path was through the sea and the mighty waters, and God's footprints were nowhere to be seen. I think this year has been like that for a lot of people. They have been driven to the edge by circumstances, and God appears to have left the room. I've listened to people's stories, I've stood with them in prayer, I've offered what little support or encouragement or help that I could. At times I felt helpless, almost overwhelmed myself. In Psalm 77, there's a point at which the writer appeals to God on the basis of past miracles, past answers to prayer. And as I look back over the year, I recognise that I have seen people doing just that. They have made choices, deliberate decisions, to put their trust again in God. And as they've looked to God, they've found peace and rest in those tough places. Then, for some of them at least, life has slowly begun to come together again. One man who is being treated for cancer goes for a scan and he's told that it's all clear, and there's much rejoicing over that. 2 young men are offered good jobs with long-term prospects, and that in a time when it seemed that such a thing was just not possible. Several have recently been granted asylum, and they're now free to start thinking about making a new and a safer life for themselves and their families here in the UK. Anxiety and despair has lifted because God is faithful. That's what keeps me going as a pastor, not what I can do for people, but what I see God doing.